guys, welcome back to another transit talk. So this is our official third talk so far, since we've moved away from the weekend astrology, the very heavy set, longer than expected videos. Now in the transit talks that we're doing here, we are going through and breaking down what each transit is going to look like for each of the signs. And this one is very exciting. It's one that you really can't have any qualms about because everything's just going to look nicer. We're going to feel a little better about ourselves and get on better terms with the people in our lives. So Venus in Libra, its home sign. We're so ready for something to be where it should be right now, to kind of counteract how, crazy and magnified the energy in Capricorn is. So Venus and Libra, I've kind of already put on some trendy looks for the fall and got the flannel out. It's just it's a much easier time. Like, I feel like when we get that Libra energy, it allows us to be a little gentler, with everything that's going on around us and not really take a selfish stance. So we don't get as worked up in the conversations that we're having. We don't feel like tension in the air as much. It just seems like there's a lot less challenging, disruptive energy that can kind of come out suddenly when we have more Libra stuff. And there's a few reasons for that. Libra energy is the peacemaker, is looking to find harmony at whatever cost and whatever damage it may do to its own self. And so there is a challenge in not saying your piece or not having the things that you want for yourself in order for everyone else to have what they want. So it is a little more complicated of a sign to kind of unpack because it is the reflective self. It is our projection into the world and how other people take notice of us and what they find likable about us, because this is the ultimate likable sign. You may think that your sun is going to show you the most positive elements of yourself, but that's not necessarily what other people see. It's more housed within, and it shines at times, but I think more so than not, people really resonate with seeing the Venus energy in somebody else. That's our attraction. It's like how we interact with people, what are our best qualities, our quirks, and how we tend to get along with others. And so there's a lot mixed into the sign of Libra itself and Venus, its ruling planet. It's just very exciting, when a planet is in its home sign, that's its, I feel like there's an actual term for this, but it's essential dignity. So that's where it's the most concentrated. It's where it's the best suited to do the work that it wants to do. Like, we have been blessed with Mars and Aries, which has, given us pure instincts, the things that we're seeing, that we're responding to, where we're following kind of our internal guide and not really questioning it so much right now. And Neptune and Pisces, its home placement. So the sensitivities go very deep. I think that one can be a little more potentially harmful, because it's a lot harder to work with and manage, just like Pisces energy naturally is. But it's nice to see that there are a few things in the sky that are really like supporting us moving forward with this huge transformational energy. And the personal planets are going to be the ones that really have the most impact on us in our day-to-day lives. So they're going to be the ones that you notice the most, that you don't have to do a lot of deep work to realize what exactly is going on and how is it related to the astrology. like if you're working with something like, Pluto, which is very much the darkness and the darker aspects of ourselves, what's hidden coming out into the light, that's a lot harder to kind of understand or relate than like a Venus placement. So this will be a lot more easy to grasp and to notice. I mean, she likes to be noticed. Venus and Libra, I mean, love some attention. And yeah, it's very exciting. Everything this year is still working itself out in major ways, and so there is no real escape or vacation from the big energy playing out in Capricorn. And I think we can all feel that to a deep level, that it's just not quite time to really enjoy things like the way maybe we have before. Or I mean, there's still so much closed around us, still so many businesses and people's lives hurting, especially if they've been affected by COVID. So, it is respectful to not really flaunt our wealth, our status, the designer shit. I really would say this year to be very mindful of your appearance. And usually I would say, do you, girl? But I think there's a big level of understanding as we move throughout the world, and really taking in like the deeper insights of like, there are people hurting all around, and it almost sends like a weird message if we are, pretending like everything is wrapped in this finely tuned package with a bow on it, because our lives are not that right now. They're definitely not that. And so I think the more that you do try to zhuzh up your appearance, almost like the less rewarding it'll be this time around. So I'm gonna see if maybe there are some new trends that start this year that allow us to see more of the truth, as opposed to the gloss and the layers that we put onto ourselves to appear a certain way, which is usually the Libra energy. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, like, definitely enjoy yourself and the little bit of time that you have with the important people in your life. This is a great aspect for that, for really having some fun, but just staying mindful that there are a lot of big wars going on, spiritually, in politics, like there's a lot of stuff still happening. And I don't really know what else to say with that, but just be respectful. I think sometimes we can look for admiration, maybe when it's not necessarily what we need. And almost depending on somebody else's approval of you is never a good way to live life. That should come within first, and then other people take note and compliment you. But it's the reverse with Libra. They're not as internally strong and confident until they step out into the world and they get feedback from the world, whether it is an actual compliment from a stranger, or just seeing something beautiful around them, or catching themselves in the mirror, or having, a really engaging conversation with someone very important, or holding, their lover's hand. It takes almost something outside of themselves to engage them in the way that makes them feel good. And so it is a very complex thing to unravel, and I think it seems very vain and surface level stuff when we think about Venus and Libra energy, but it really does go deep. And so I challenge you guys to understand the energy on a much more spiritual and depth level. That most Libras out there are very, very passionate about different causes and about humanity. They really want everyone to have a fighting chance, and it's almost like a glimpse of like Aquarius energy before it isolates and like hones in on like one thing. Libra likes to get in the mix with everything and to lift other people up. And that's the high vibe of Libra, is it doesn't want the attention just for itself. It wants the room to take on the attention. You know what I mean? Like, they want to walk into a room, turn some heads, get some compliments, but in that process, make the situation lighter, make it less serious, more enjoyable. Like, that is the high vibe. The bigger purpose of this energy is to make life easier, almost, by like finding balance. Like, when things are too stiff and serious, lightening it up, and when things are becoming too adventurous, too wild, too rebellious, bringing it back in. It's finding that perfect balance, that alignment, and that's a daily thing to do, and it's an interesting challenge. And I'm sure if you ask any Libra out there, that really resonates with them, like always managing work life, fun, serious, relationships, and the self. I feel like that's always the hardest for them. But yeah, so like really interesting kind of insights going into this season. I will say that I really do like the way that this season is starting out. Not the season, but Venus in Libra. It will be starting on October 27th, this Tuesday, evening time. But we're already going to start getting a glimpse of it the days before. The days into, feeling a little lighter, maybe wanting to dust off some stuff in the closet, dress a little snazzier, go do something social. Go to that restaurant that you really like that's now open for outdoor dining, or buy, a cute face mask, doing something responsible, but also that looks and feels good too. Staying mindful of all the COVID practices in place, obviously, and that's been a very hard thing to manage. When we look at a romantic life, when we look at dating or intimacy, it's almost doing more harm than good at the moment with, all the fear around and the possibility of catching things. And if you haven't already experienced that, this placement will really bring that into focus, because everyone's going to be feeling these romantic vibes now that Venus is in its home sign of relationships. So, that's great. It's just staying mindful and cautious at the same time. So not falling headfirst into something or someone that you don't necessarily know. Maintaining yourself and your own health first and foremost, and seeing where that takes you. But yes, I'm very excited the way that this transit is kicking off. Not a lot is disrupting it. I see, the day of, the moon in Pisces is going to be opposite Venus, and as it moves into Aries, it'll be opposite. But that is natural whenever we see Venus energy, because it already is opposite the self, almost the first house, our focus. And it's natural to see oppositions whenever we look at Libra or Venus energy. It's almost expected. And so, yeah, so the moon, as we transition into Venus and Libra, we'll kind of be at odds with ourself and that sensitivity, and this almost like sexual aggression, these hidden things. And so Venus is coming out to make that vulnerable day or situation a little easier on us. And then as it moves into Aries, kind of stifling our own impulses and wants and needs and urges, and almost slowing us down. I mean, I feel like we've been very slow, but, Venus takes a lot longer to make decisions because it really wants to please everybody. And so it happening opposite Chiron, finding the best solution to healing traumatic situations, looking deeper at yourself and seeing like, how am I always of service for other people? and trying to balance that out. So there is almost this really cool thing that happens with that opposition energy, is that these two things come together and they're like, okay, well, you can have this and I can have this, and then da 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 da, agree, sign on the dotted line, and then they part ways, or they hold hands. It's like they keep moving into the future together, or they come to an agreement and then they disperse again. And so yeah, it's really interesting, and we'll find that a lot of compromises and agreements are really a big theme, especially in money matters as we move into this transit. But yeah, opposing moon, opposing Chiron, not crazy. The moon moves very fast, so we won't be stuck with that energy. Chiron is one of those deeper things that it's harder to really unpack at first unless you have done a lot of homework on your own Chiron, but it's where you help others before you help yourself, or where you never help yourself. So depending on where that is for you, that can bring up its own wounds. And with the current sky, it's in Aries, so it's kind of almost like how we put others before ourselves in every way when it's in Aries, because that's like everything, how we move forward with everything, how we help others, almost how we baby other people. And so we'll kind of understand that a little bit more as Venus opposes that in a few days. But it can bring up some hurt too, some feelings of like letting yourself down, or never having enough for yourself because you genuinely like to give and to help others. So don't get too bogged down by that. It's a good thing to help others. It's just a tough placement when it is in focus, because we feel like almost we're defeating ourselves in the process, but I don't think that's really what's going on here. So then we're trining, very exciting, trining Saturn and Pluto. So those really, really tough energies, we are starting out this transit trining them. So that's a much gentler approach to this. Very exciting, and that means that they're going to support us for most of this transit until they come into a square aspect towards the end of it, like mid-November. And so yeah, we're having the support of Saturn and Pluto. It may not be super apparent, but like this Venus energy, this female energy, is working with what we're trying to build, what we're trying to grow in society. And if you guys haven't already noticed, there are so many females in politics that are doing all of this hard work and are really, really stepping it up and challenging us to step up to meet them somewhere too. And so I feel like this is the year of the empowered female visionary, and really showing us, like, breaking all of the almost expectations of Venus energy. You know what I mean? Breaking the conventions of it. I was gonna say like Venus and like looking at Cancer, normal female stuff in the past has been very much like putting on airs, dressing the part, providing for everyone, and never really having time for themselves, but just looking good and taking extra time to do that. Well, now I think we're at a point to where those expectations aren't the same, and people are really breaking out of those confines where it's anything you want. Anybody can be beautiful, and that's accessible for anyone out there, you know? So it's really exciting stuff, and I'm gonna plug in my phone because I'm afraid it's not going to last here. Ooh, okay. So hopefully that did it. And yeah, let's get started. So slow intro. Mercury in Scorpio is still kind of retrograde, is slowing us down a bit, is, you know, not making that progress super, super easy, that we can just take on everything. And Venus and Libra, again, being more mindful of the decisions and the actions that we're making, will be slowing us down too. But it also eases things at the same time. So it'll be really interesting to see. So let's get started. Aries, 7th house. What will this be like for you, Aries? So, oh, did I see this card? Whoa, okay. Wow, what a card to start out with. Okay, the World. Okay, so it does have something to do with you guys happening opposite Chiron, and then Venus will be opposite Mars at some point during this transit too. And so when we see Libra and its natural opposing energy, we have to look at Aries as well. And you guys loving the attention that you're getting for the next month. Now, the world is really a culmination of what you've been working on and putting it out into the world. So there's a big project, maybe a study, maybe you're graduating, maybe you have some sort of, leadership position, you've accomplished something really big. You're ending a cycle here. And, when Mars comes out of retro, I feel like before Venus moves into Scorpio, like you guys are you're feeling so ready, so energized. You can take on anything, go anywhere you want. You probably will take a vacation to celebrate. But yeah, this is really, really good attention. We love this. When it's this way, it's bad paparazzi, but when it's this way, we own that red carpet and you guys are looking really good. Okay, so 7th house, what you guys can run into, obviously romance, compromises, agreements, maybe even some legal stuff, but it all looks like it's in your favor with the world. It's meant to happen. It is happening. Really don't second guess yourself. Don't question it. Just let it be and enjoy it. So it looks like you are really working well with other people come this season, and the world is on your side. So great stuff. Taurus, this will be happening in your 6th house of work, of routine, of health. So when Venus, is our money indicator too, and we're talking about the sign of money, we have to look at this. It looks like you guys are going to be coming into some great payoffs with work this season and with health. Maybe you've really been working hard on your fitness or your dieting and you're really seeing the results, and really just want to treat yourself, give yourself some sort of a celebration of your accomplishments. So great things there. Let's see, Taurus. Okay. Okay, well, maybe not. Let's see. So this opposing energy is actually not hitting you guys the best. Sorry, this is just cracking me up. So maybe this is Uranus playing out with you guys too still, and you're coming into like a really, really unexpected person, somebody from your past that you just haven't detached from. And I guess with your house of health, you guys may be a little more prone to getting sick right now. So really, really, really be careful. There is somebody that is just not good for you coming in. Maybe this is some Mercury retro stuff, but I was kind of excited. I was like, ooh, they're getting payday. But this is not the year, I guess, to really enjoy this Venus and Libra stuff for you guys. So watch out. Anybody that makes you feel like cold, that you're just not enough, that you don't deserve them, isn't worth your time. And just be very mindful of your relationships. That's the Libra energy. And so good and bad, they're not all great. We're just trying to balance out the ones in our lives. And so it's more of an even playing field in that they're not extreme polarities. So you guys actually do have some work to do, 6th house, and you are at risk for, doing harm to your health. So really, really be mindful this next month. You guys are coming into a full moon. In Scorpio season, it's always your full moon time. And really around that time is going to be very, very hard for you, to kind of break away from some old habits. I mean, you guys are an earth sign. You already know that it's more likely in your nature to stick to what you like and what has proven to be true. But that's not always the case. And as we're doing this huge transformation, it's really high time that you guys see that it's doing more harm for you than it is good. You're supposed to be embracing the different, the taboo, the innovative right now with Uranus in your sign. It's pushing you to basically build a new life, for all of us. You guys are the builders, and it starts with you. So I know that's a lot of pressure, and Uranus is still in its retro. But I think once we move past this, once we move past these bad spending habits, this bad person that's just really not toxic or not great. I mean, it's not just them, but it's the union. It's both of you. So be sure that you're taking responsibility, and you're not just like, oh, that they're the one that's doing all the harm, because usually in relationships, it's double-sided. It's not just one person. So be aware of that. All right, Gemini, let's see here. I have written fashion, baby, for you guys as it moves into your 5th house. Ooh, looks great. Wheel of Fortune, feeling the luck, feeling that this kind of almost air flow, like picking you up. I feel like this is very much like the Marilyn Monroe moment as she moves through the street, and that little gust of wind, just she does the little dress thing, and I'm like, that's such a Gemini thing. Very like short attention span, unexpected, but really rolls with it and envelops in the moment. Yeah, this is like, really supporting you guys. Venus is an air ruled planet, and that's what you guys like. It's your nature. So you do well when Venus or Uranus is moving through an air energy. And yeah, you guys like just take the opportunities that are coming for you. Don't look too deep into them. Don't analyze them. Just grab them. The universe just is like giving you like this beautiful fruit that you can just pick from. And for once, it's not poisonous, or there's no double meaning to it. So it's a lot more simplified for you guys. This will be moving through your 5th house. So you'll really, really feel like the stuff happening right now is very much purpose-oriented. It is taking you further down the road at a time when Mercury and Scorpio in retro is really, really cleaning you guys out, scraping everything off, all of the bad stuff. It's almost like Mercury and Scorpio in retro is like one of those scenes from Grey's Anatomy where they're having to clean out like, the heart or the lungs, and they just have to keep scraping and scraping and scraping until they get all of the bad cancerous tissue off. And that is a really long process, and it takes a lot to recover from. And Venus is like, okay, we've put you through hell. Now here's some good stuff to lighten the light, and to make your hospital bed and your room a lot more cozy. Maybe someone unexpected comes and visits you, and really has something empowering to say. Maybe they come clean about an issue that you've always known was there. Our deep relationships are improving with this placement, especially for you guys. And yeah, it looks great. Take the risks, even though it seems risky. It's time that you guys do make some traction. So Cancer, let's see here. This is a really natural placement for you guys too. Your 4th house. A lot of cards. Okay. Okay. Interesting here. So we've got the Sun. We love this. It's playtime. We don't have to answer a lot. We don't really need to be responsible, which is kind of against what Libra nature wants us to do, is to really own up to what we've done and to compromise, to wear our adult pants. And you guys just would rather not. And maybe it has something to do with this, because you're making a lot of really tough decisions. You are having to leave something that you have put time and energy into, and trying to make light of these hard situations. And somebody that like really just isn't doing it for you anymore, again, we think that Venus energy is just nothing but fun, but it is very serious too. When we're having too much fun, remember what I said, it balances out. Here's that balance. It's a big swing from this to this. This is doing all the things, really feeling like that happy-go-lucky energy, maybe kind of falling in love for a second, and then we've got this, and then quickly like changing course. You know, something kind of came out of your life as quickly as it came in. And look at the difference in these cards. It's just night and day, like literally. So you guys are really, really going to be going through some tough transitions during this transit. I mean, it's in your 4th house, which could be family matters or moving away from home. You know, some of that stuff may be changing. And yeah, you may feel like you just don't have all the resources that you need. You don't have the support that you need. You almost feel like you're letting go of some people in this process. But, you know, you're doing the right thing. I feel like the sun is confirming that, like, to get to this better life, you know, you have to kind of cut out the poison. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's all wrapped up in other people, but there are people around you that, or there is this one person that is constantly stifling your energy. You know, you feel like you just can't say anything to them without it coming back onto you, and just keeps almost gaslighting you almost, you know what I mean? And like doesn't have any hesitation to do it. And that's just, it's past this point of toxicity, and now we got to do something about it. So yeah, you know, maybe you'll even be running back to home or something comforting. That's that kind of childlike, you know, sun nature. But I think that you guys realizing that it's time for a change in it of itself is a victory. So just ride that, see where it takes you, and just be like, you can always walk away. You don't have to engage with somebody that constantly makes you feel bad. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to say anything to a person that does that to you. Like you literally don't. So that's all I have to say for you guys. A little tougher. Leo, let's see here, Leo. So we've got 3rd house, going to school and style. Very Venus energy. Libra is a great match for Leo. Yep. And here we go. Look at the fire signs really loving this energy. So you guys are really stepping into some glamour. You know, again, this red carpet, this flannel carpet, if you will. You're really ready to have a fashion moment. And, you know, exploring your creativity again, getting back to, you know, that enlightening self, you know, like, where am I going? What am I doing? You're revisiting kind of what you set out to do, and you're like, oh, okay, this is still achievable, and oh my God, it's happening all of a sudden, and oh my God, like it's falling into my lap, like kind of energy. You guys have been riding the storm, and you know, really seeing that finally there is a break, there is light coming from, you know, this chaotic like journey on the sea of your sensitivity, and it's really opening up and showing you that there is beauty finally through all of this. You know, you guys have just been really, really trying to stay as tough as you can, but also, you know, staying your sensitive self, you know, not pushing something off because it's uncomfortable, but really sitting with it and, you know, really patiently continuing to move forward. And, you know, the time has finally come for you to step it up, you know. You guys have already stepped up, but now it's almost like the universe is like finally raising you. You've been waiting for the elevator. You have not been complaining. You have let other people on before you, like handicapped people that were in a bigger hurry. You know, like everybody has kind of had their turn, and now it's time for you. Look, it's like literally getting brighter behind me. So this is very, very exciting stuff. Really, really run with it. You know, we don't always love attention as much as people think we do. We only like it when we're 100% confident, and that can take a lot for us to get there. But it looks like now's the time, and there may be a good trip, journey of some kind coming up for you guys that is really, really going to give you this sense of adventure, this sense of exploration that you've been missing in this stay-at-home time. So I'm excited, really good stuff. So if you've been really worried, just keep doing you, stay patient, stay strong, and it'll happen, okay? Virgo came out very quick. Oh gosh, okay. So second house Virgo, money, money, money. More money, more problems, am I right? So, okay, what's going on here? So 6 of Swords and 7 of Swords. It's an interesting progression back to back. We're kind of stuck with this middle energy of trying to get out of some commitments, trying to get away from somebody, but at the same time, almost like hurting yourself in the process, like not even realizing like what you're doing. You're like ghosting yourself. Like you're not even ghosting the other person. Like does that make sense? It's almost like you just dismissed yourself and your own opinions in the process of like leaving, of walking away. So where Cancer would be hooved by just walking away from a situation, you guys are really going to miss out when you do that. You know what I mean? It's almost like there's this 2-step thing happening, and maybe you just don't have the time and energy to really analyze it like you guys usually like to unpack things. You love puzzles, but this is one where you're just like, nope, just not gonna have it. And hey, you know what I mean? If walking away from it makes you feel better, makes you feel less stressed, then go ahead and do it. I don't feel like you're gonna get out unscathed. I feel like there is something that you're gonna leave behind, and maybe not realize it. Maybe there's an opportunity that really is calling out at you guys, and you guys are just so in your feels, so in the stress and the worry, that you're just not picking up on it, If this is a person that you're walking away from, they're still going to have some agenda. They're still going to have some ulterior motives, and you're not going to be quite rid of them just yet. So be wary of that. If you really want to cut a cord, you really need to cut the cord. You know what I mean? So, just saying the actions and, doing the thing doesn't really do the spiritual internal process. You're still holding on to this person with your mind, and that is still holding space for them to do you harm if this is someone that is harmful. So I realize that it is a full body effect, mind, body, and soul, when we try to act or do something in our power. And you guys just really need to kind of let that mold and see if like you're really, really ready to give up or not. And this could really be harmful on your finances, second house, but it is a very physical energy. So I feel like this is somebody that you have been intimate with, or that you've just stuck around with for a long time, because we see the second house energy is very devoted, is very much a structure in our lives. And you guys are just like, when you adopt a routine, it becomes very hard to step out of that. And so even if you do, you still almost find your body or your mind trying to wake you up at the right time, or to just do the thing without it even being there anymore. It's almost becoming like this bodily motion that you're having. And yeah, your mind is almost playing tricks on you in the process, because you're like, well, I'm not in the same situation anymore. Why is this still happening? So anyways, that'll be a little challenging for you guys. Mercury in retro, still going strong, still cleaning us out. And, really having to analyze like how unhealthy our minds can get at a time where mental health is so important, that you guys could really, really be feeling that. So Libra, let's change up some energy here with Libra. So Libra, okay, not unexpected here. Venus into Libra. So there is somebody coming back around for you guys. This may not be as romantic as it looks. This can often be just someone younger that you really vibe with, that really, gives you that balance. opposing energy. You know, Aries is usually a much more youthful, even childlike person. And that could be really who's coming around for you guys. Somebody that you have known for a while, maybe you've fallen out of touch with, or maybe you're even related to. Cups can be family and romance. So, you know, this kind of like, oh, hey, she's looking good again. And, you know, they're going to come knocking. This will be an interesting thing for you guys to be like, okay, you know, yes, I look good, but I'm not looking good for you. I'm doing this for me. So maybe you can really stop somebody once they try to be like, oh, okay, so now you're ready for this, or now you're at that place where you want to be, and you're like, you know, I am at the place where I want to be, but I realize it's no longer to hold space for you. So, you know, kind of a thing. Really have one of those kind of flashy, like rom-com moments where it was like the guy that, you know, like you had the hots for in school, and now he has kind of grown to really not be impressive at all and just lost most of that charm. And you're just like, okay, hi, bye, you know, like you just don't have the same effect. You don't have the same pull that you did back then, honey. So I'm just gonna go. And yeah, so seeing that for what it is, you know, it's in your first house, so it's on your mind. So love is definitely on your mind. It's gonna be hard to kind of navigate around that. For a sign that it's always looking for that kind of connection, you'll really feel that going in. And we're entering Scorpio season 2, so there's even more of a physical urge to be with somebody. So it'll be an interesting one for you guys. I don't think it's necessarily going to do you harm, but don't sell yourself short. Don't settle for somebody that you really feel like you could be doing better than, or that isn't going to give you the reciprocity that you need. You know, that look for that balance. Are they really good at the things that you're not, and vice versa? Are you complimenting each other, or are you just doing it for the sake of doing it? You know what I mean? So yeah, not bad though. Yeah, just somebody that may be a little more possessive or aggressive with you, and you're just like, whoa, before I step into this, I have needs too. So really vocalize that stuff, you know, before anything takes off. All right, Scorpio. So 12th house, very sensitive psychic house, Queen of Swords. And you guys know what's up. This is a really good Libra card too. And I think it's an interesting court card because she is not only facing sideways, but her chair is facing sideways. So you do not get her full attention, no matter how hard you try. This is very Venus energy. I feel like even the Libras that I know in my personal life, they never make you feel like they're there all the time for you, no matter what happens. They need to stay flexible, fluid from situation to situation. And that kind of ambiguity can confuse people. And I think it's almost hard to know whether they're attracted to you or not, or vice versa. So this could really, you know, kind of get you guys in your head, but I feel like you are set up to navigate this energy very well. Queen of Swords, once she processes something, she usually comes to the conclusion very quickly, you know, but do take your time. So don't necessarily trust everything that you see. You know, take a step back, you know, maybe try to hear it from both sides and skate through the middle a little bit. You know, this is one transit where you guys don't really have to be on extremes. You can kind of just glide on through, and that's really nice because you are so used to having to do all or nothing, you know. And so yeah, this is the balance of Venus and Libra coming in for you guys. So your 12th house, you may feel like you are losing money, you are losing love, but it looks like it is necessary for you to keep on the road that you're going through. So it could put you in a very sensitive place, but I think there is enough imagination, enough almost knowledge that you guys have up to this point to guide you through the momentary detours and vulnerability. So yeah, this is a very fierce season. We're in Scorpio season, so it becomes almost a weapon of some kind, but you guys know how to operate that. This is basically your season, and Venus is supporting you by like being where it likes to be. And so it'll be that much more enjoyable. All right, Sagittarius. Whoa, came out really quick there. So came out really quick indeed. Knight of Swords in reverse. So Sagittarius 11th house. You're connecting with the beautiful people, Venus in the 11th. You're spending money on some new gadgets, or using the dating apps. Maybe you're becoming very, very proactive on meeting people and, coming out of that kind of, I wouldn't necessarily call you guys hermits, but like you really don't need social interaction when you don't need it. And when you do need it, like this can happen, like where it becomes very almost too assertive. Come off like an Aries or something where you're just like, no, let's do it. We got to do it, So this is almost an idea kind of taking over, kind of clouding, your actions, your motives, and really not understanding why you feel this push to like act. And maybe that air energy is just not suiting you guys super well this season. And maybe you just haven't had enough trips. You haven't had enough exploration. You haven't had enough fun. And so you're just really irritable, So really be cautious of this, like how you guys are coming across. There's already this sentiment about Sagittarius being very blunt when it doesn't need to be. And this can be like super harsh. So, really be careful, with the conversations that you guys are having. These daggers can really go deep. And you really don't want to inflict pain on others, and just bring everybody else down. That's kind of a selfish thing to do. So be cautious of what is being said, the letters, the messages coming in. You're not going to like them, but, there's always a plus side. You are realizing that spreading yourself in all of these different directions all the time just doesn't leave much time for you, and just doing something to take up time isn't really worth your time. Does that make sense? Like, just doing something social or supposedly fun doesn't mean that it's going to be that if it's not what you need at the time. There you go. So looking for distractions, looking for, just like time together isn't always helpful. And I feel like you guys are going to find out quickly that this, energy isn't really supporting you as much. So I would say pull back, be a little more with yourself, but also get out of your head. So you don't have to be around people to get out of your head. You know what I mean? Like there are other ways. So Capricorn, 10th house, more work. Ooh, and accomplishment. So we love this. So this is okay, like the Venus energy I feel like I was expecting when we were doing this reading. You guys have some events coming up, maybe even some family stuff, and it's time to enjoy it. It's time to like drink the finest things, eat the finest things. This is like, what is that saying? You can have your cake and eat it too. You've been working hard to get to this point, and now you can enjoy it. You know what I mean? This is a really cool thing to have, and feel good vibes all around. This is a time where you can really put down the phone. You can turn off work and just be present. I think that's very hard for you guys because you are always so focused on climbing that mountain of life, and you have found a ledge that you're finally comfortable on for a moment. You know what I mean? You're like, you know what? I think I really like this view here, and I am not like at the point to where I'm going to ruin my goal if I stop for a second. And so you're finally kind of letting your foot off the gas, and you're just like, oh, okay, I can do this. I can like take some pictures. I can, you know, just really see what the world is trying to show me right now. And that's some beauty, and really, really take that on. Find some good balance. Maybe you guys have had some really good talk with family members, some people that are very important at work, and you're seeing eye to eye on things, or you have compromised. You're not necessarily in the same sector of ideas, but you have found middle ground and have just balanced it all out. So super, super good to see. Yeah, you know, some legal stuff maybe coming through in your favor. So, you know, you've done the hard work, you've stood by your decision, paying off. So cool. Aquarius, your 9th house. Okay, let's see here. Venus in your 9th. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of like unsure of really how to describe that, and you guys may be just as unsure as me. So are you getting the best of yourself? Because I feel like there's not a lot of people that can really match you when it comes to ideas, to seeing through things, to seeing all sides. I feel like Gemini can try, but it gives up pretty quickly. Libra, you know, can be the one that really throws you for a loop, because they can walk in both directions. It's almost like Gemini can say that they have done it, but they don't necessarily do it. Libra has this physicality to it, that it will have lived both experiences and can report back, you know, to you and see what it's come up with or what it's been through. And you guys are just, you're like, what am I missing? You know, you like look at a Libra and you're just like, how do they manage it all? How do they keep it all together and just, they don't like appear like they doubt themselves? And, you know, this is something that happens behind closed doors when people are vulnerable, and it's not something that you should see and be like, oh, I really envy that about them, or like, man, they can really turn savage at like a moment's notice, you know? And I don't really understand that. How can they not be like through and through the person that they say to be? So yeah, this will really kind of throw you guys for a little bit of a head spin. And so, you know, again, with Cancer's thing, walk away. Like when you get this card, it's like not worth your time, especially if you already know that you're walking in against an opponent that you like aren't feeling great about to begin with. You're almost psyching yourself out of this conversation before it even happens. And so you have to ask yourself, is it even necessary? Is this going to do any good? You know, or is this just going to keep drumming up drama, conflict? Can I just detach? I mean, this is like, you know, a card that is really giving you that permission to just detach, to just quit it. It's not worth your time. And you guys love detaching, or you don't love it, but it's your nature. And so just do what's in your nature here. Sometimes other people's ideas can be better than yours, and I know that's hard to hear, like, but you don't have every answer out there. We're always figuring it out, and I think being so future oriented, we don't always get the full picture, you know? Yeah, so not crazy there, but let's see, Pisces, what have we got here? So your 8th house, really, really feeling those schmexy vibes as we move through Scorpio season. Let's see. Whoa, did I see it again? I think, what? Oh, weird. I thought I just saw the World card show up again. Okay. That was super weird. Okay. So you guys might be seeing some things this season. Yeah, I mean, like 8th house, like not just like spiritual stuff, but like, you know, psychic, like dark stuff coming up for you guys. Venus, you know, maybe there's even a person in your life that you're just like, I don't know how to help you, and I don't know if I want to be around you. Like, you're literally toxic kind of energy. So 9 of Swords in reverse, you know, like this placement can kind of almost like get in the tough spots in your mind, in the corners of your mind that you don't like to explore, that you know are like caution signs for you to go into. You know, this is like Alice's journey into Wonderland, but this is that almost like area where she's in the Queen of Hearts, you know, like she's uncomfortable. She's not, it's no more like explorative. It's not like Tweedledum and Tweedledee. It's not like the caterpillar giving you philosophical stuff, or the Cheshire cat, which I don't think intentionally harms her, but it is, you know, very hard to trust. This is like you've kind of gotten into the dangerous area here with the Queen of Hearts, and really trying to sort out how do you navigate away from that, because you're just like, oh God, I need to pretend and blend in, or I need to do the things. And it's really hard to let that stuff go, you know, taking on this, you know, Venus can bring out this mirror image, this energy that we have to look good in every space that we're in, but we don't have to. We can say that not everything is okay. We can say that I'm really not doing as great as I may look, and owning up to that stuff is going to help you work through it a lot faster. So, you know, it's a really tough transit like area for you guys. Your 8th house, you know, is water nature, is Scorpio ruled. During this season, you know, it's a very concentrated effect for you guys, but I know that you know darkness very well at this point. How well at navigating it, I don't know, but I know you can do it. It's just believing in yourself and not psyching yourself out. So finding ways around that and not getting absorbed in the pretend of it all is going to be a really fine line to walk this season. So I trust that you guys can do it. It's just, I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that it's going to be super easy. So that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for watching this transit talk. If you want a reading with me, reach out to me on my Instagram, tarotwithtyler, and follow along on there. We do weekly tarot readings that are, I think, a good addition to the transit talk, so you guys can see your week ahead versus, you know, what is this planet doing for me and my sign. And let me know how you guys like these videos. I'm going to try to keep one coming each week. Not sure exactly what the next one's going to be. We do have some moons coming up, and so maybe I'll do some full moon, new moon stuff. So stay tuned. Thanks for subscribing. And that's all I got. Enjoy this Venus.